Okay, finding gradient. So how do I find gradient of a straight line? So remember the form of a straight line. The form of straight line will be y equal to mx plus c. Now we have a look. M indicate m is gradient. Remember that for me. Gradient, what is gradient, by the way? What is gradient? Gradient is how steep the line is. So steepness, or you can call it slope. We call it slope, gradient, and most of the times mathematically it's called gradient or slope or even constant. But all right, I don't want to bombard you with so many words, so just remember it's gradient. And C is y-intercept. What does it mean by y-intercept? So have a look here. Y-intercept is where the straight line crosses the y-axis. We always have y-axis and x-axis. So this is where the line crosses the y-axis. Is gonna be where the y-intercept is. So in this case, it's gonna be 0, 2, the y-intercept. All right. So in order to look for gradient, so how do we look for it? We call gradient m, and there's two ways that you can look for it. So m will be rise over run. When do we use rise over run? What does it mean by rise over run? I'm gonna show you in a bit. And m will be equal to, you have to remember this formula, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. When do we use the when do I use this and when do I use this? So I recommend you, whenever you have a graph in front of you, we're gonna use rise over run method. If they given you 2 points without a graph, you can use this method. I'm gonna show you step by step how to work out gradient. All right, and one thing is from left to right. If the line going up here like this, if the line going up here that way from left to right, the gradient will be positive. So from left to right going up here, if the straight line going up here will be gradient m is positive. If from left to right, if the line going this way, going down here, if you see it going down here from left to right, down here, so it's gonna m will be negative. All right, let's just have a look. Example 2. How would I solve this? Okay, they asked me to find the gradient of the line shown. So the first step, if they give me the graph already, I can pick any 2 points on the line, this one and that one. All right, look for rise. So from here to this point, I have to rise how many units? I got rise will be equal to, count with me, 1, 2, so 2 units. So rise will be 2 units, and it's going to the left. Remember, if it's going to the left, it's run. This is run. Run going to the left. If it's going to the left, it's gonna become negative. Do you see 0, negative? So it have to be, if it go to the left, it's negative. How many units? 2 units. So now I can apply this formula, m equal to rise over run, and that will be equal to rise is 2, run is negative 2, and m is negative 1. This is how I find the gradient of the line shown. And can you tell me where the y-intercept is? This is where the y-intercept is. Okay, and this is, we're gonna label it, it cut the y-axis at 2, so it's gonna be 0, 2. All right, so we have a line here. All right, so how do we find the gradient of this line here? So, oops. So the first step that I would do, there's 2 methods. Either use m equal to rise over run, or you can choose m equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm gonna show you how to do rise over run first. So pick any 2 points on a graph, maybe here and here. Let's see that rise, I have to go from 4 to A to reach to this point. Oh, sorry. All right, from right, if I pick here, this point and this point, let's look for rise. So rise going from 4 to 8, it means it rising. So rise will be equal to 4. And how about run? If it goes to the right, it means it's getting more positive. So run will be equal to 2. Okay, from 0 to 2. So run will be 2. Now m will be equal to, you have to write this, otherwise I don't know where you get that from. Alright, rise will be 4 over 2, run with 2. So 4 over 2 is 2. Do you see now you already work out gradient? Now can you tell me where the y-intercept is? So y-intercept is here. It cut the y-axis at 4. It's going to be 0 and 4 is the y-intercept. Now can you tell me if I don't use this method, how about I use this method then? So what you can do, when can you use this method? When you know there's 2 points. So let's say if I got 0.04 and this line is, remember if it's written in coordinate form class, x and y. So the x value go first and the y value go after in a bracket. It shows a point. Any point on a graph will be shown this way, x and y. Alright, so let's see. If I pick this point, can you read for me what is it? So looking down this way, it's gonna be 2. X value is 2. Looking down, looking this way across, y value is at 8. So now if I have 2 points given, how do I look for gradient? M will be equal to y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Alright, y2 is, let's just call any. So you can call any x1, y1. It doesn't matter which one you call x2, y2 or x1, y1. As long as they are x2, y2, x1, y1. As long as they have the same number. Okay. Alright. Oh, sorry. As long as they are the same set. You cannot have x1, y2 though. Alright, let's go. y2 will be a minus with 4 divided by x2 is 2 divided, take away 0. A take away 4 would be 4, 2, and it's the same thing. So you left, you come with number 2 as a gradient. Okay. And there's one thing that I want to point out to you. If they ask you now, can you determine the line? If you want to go ahead, this is what I'm going to go through in class next week. But just so you know, they're going to ask you a question, determine the line. The equation, determine the equation of the line. Always remember the equation of the straight line is y equal to mx plus c. If you already found m, which is 2, can you see y will be equal to mx plus c? In order to determine the equation, you need to look for m and look for c. What is c? The y-intercept, right? If you have m as number 2, the gradient of this line is 2, so you have y equal to 2x, and c is 4. It cut the y-axis as 4, so c, this is where c is, so c will be equal to 4. Then that's it. When they ask you to determine the line, you look for gradient, look for y-intercept, and sub the value in. Then you look for, and then you know this is the line of y equal to 2x plus 4. Alright? For those who can go ahead.